Hi everyone, it's been a while, but I'm back with a video. Today I'm working on this beautiful etude by Frédéric Chopin. This etude is my favorite out of all of Chopin's 24 etudes. It stands out from the set in its serene beauty, in contrast from all those intensely passionate and often impossibly difficult ones, which means I can actually enjoy it while I play it. It was Robert Schumann who thought of Aeolian harp when Chopin played it for him, and since then the nickname followed this etude until today. I wanted to talk about several points in this etude to help you sound better. If you are practicing this etude, this video will help you think about synchronizing what you hear, what you want to hear, and how you execute it. But of course, even if you're not working on this etude, these ideas are applicable to other pieces that require similar technical demands from you. So let's get started. My first point is about rotation of wrist, but it's probably not what you think. You heard this a lot if you have played it for a teacher or even looked up some tips here on YouTube. Use your arm, use the rotation of your wrist. But before you mindlessly start rotating your wrists, have you thought about why you're rotating? Many students, upon being told to use their wrists, they start to rotate the wrist without thinking about why or the effect the rotation creates. And this easily becomes a habit. So first, why do we need rotation? As you already know, this etude has this special texture where harmony and melody are woven into one. And we're playing the melody and the harmony with one hand. And we obviously want to hear more of the melodic notes, which is played by your pinky in the right hand. This can be facilitated by giving more arm weight on the notes you do want to hear. However, if you mindlessly just rotate, you can easily accent your thumb because of the axis motion in the wrists. Like this. In other words, rotation can work against you if you do not think about keeping your thumb light and playing it on the up motion. Not like this. Like this. You see this thumb? Keep reminding yourself to keep it light. This applies to your right hand and your left hand. For the left hand, there's the bass line plus the harmonic fillers. You want the bass notes, which are played by your pinky, to have enough weight and the rest of it to be pretty light. And this brings it to my second point. So you work really hard to master the rotation, you're not doing too much of it, and you're bringing out the melodic line. But the overall sound is kind of harsh and the melodic notes sound pointed. Why? What can you do to make it sound richer? Your bass line will most definitely help. Try playing your bass line with more weight than you're comfortable with and keep the right hand the same. Try it. In case you don't have access to a piano right now, I tried it for you. This is before, without any weight in the bass line. And after, with more weight in my pinky of the left hand. Do you hear the difference? Before, I sounded like a hardworking student, and here it is more effortless with more resonance overall. So don't be afraid of playing those bass notes. Play them with enough weight and you can hear the melodic notes resonate better. And just in case you're wondering why the bass notes help the higher notes resonate better, I have an explanation for you. A note is never just one pure note vibrating. It is actually a combination of many different pitches vibrating together, called the Overtone Series. In other words, this low A flat is not just pure A flat. It includes all these notes, which are part of the resonance. So when you play the bass with more weight, you're boosting this higher E flat, which is part of the Overtone series of this low A flat. Here's a common misconception about controlling dynamics. Often, when I ask students to play softly, they immediately let go of all tension and the fingers go limp. Your fingers should never be limp, even playing your softest dynamics. In fact, only firm fingers, especially at the fingertips, can carefully control the dynamics. The trick is to do it with no tension from the arms or your wrists. So these filler notes should still be played with firm fingers, and that doesn't mean pressure. If you let your fingers go limp, you will either miss notes and have gaps or accidentally bump notes. Here I am practicing my left hand. Firm fingertips, loose arms. I wish I had come up with the phrase, arms like spaghetti, fingers like steel. It's a perfect description of the physical mechanism of playing at any dynamic. Also, experiment with the depth of the keys. You do not need to go all the way to the bottom to make a sound. Can you go halfway in? Depending on your instrument, how you control your soft dynamics will change with how far you go down on those keys. Okay, now those top notes. They need to ring like bells with resonance. I play with more arm weight, but I also play these notes a little longer. So the melodic notes and the harmonic notes are played with different lengths and arm weight and depths of the keys. Here, bringing out the inner notes is a little bit tricky, but try to imagine that your fingers are mallets hitting a note on a xylophone. Completely loosen your arm and lightly hit those notes from slightly above. Are you so busy practicing the fast notes that you've never done this exercise before? I think you should. Isolate the melody and the bass and play the line just as you want to hear it. You should practice it enough so that you're playing it exactly how you want to shape it. It's like having the big picture in your mind before filling in the details. It would be crazy for an architect to just work on the details without having the overall structure and design of the building in mind, right? If you have good overall design and a firm foundation, the details will follow. But without this work, you'll be so focused on getting the fast notes that you will play the melodic notes when it is convenient, not when it makes the most musical sense. By practicing it this way, be able to hear this line and the harmonic movement created by the small notes at the same time. It's kind of like two different realities in parallel motion in the mind of the performer. As performers, we don't get to choose. We need to see the forest and the trees simultaneously. The last thing I want to talk about is letting the music breathe. I often hear this played so fast, but Chopin writes allegro sostenuto. It's likely that Chopin did not mean this as a super light-hearted piece to challenge how fast your fingers can play. Also, it's a well-known knowledge that his metronome markings are way faster than what's even possible. So, let the music breathe by taking appropriate amount of time at the ends of phrases. Don't feel rushed to start anything. This music needs to move with ebb and flow, push and pull, and it needs to intensify as well as subside. Plus, if you hurry, you can have this kind of accidents where you bump notes unintentionally. Don't be afraid of playing it out. Don't be so stuck because you're overly afraid of playing the small notes too softly. When you do want to take time, let those small notes spread out too. If you crunch those small notes, this is the result. You will have gaps, which prevents the music from flowing naturally. So with expansion and swelling of emotions, your small notes contribute to the overall effect as well as your melodic notes. So here I am. Sitting in front of my computer editing this video, and I'm reviewing my own playing many times, and I realize I'm only aspiring to do what I'm teaching. I am bumping my thumb in many places. I'm not always thinking of the line, and my inner notes do get noisy sometimes. But I think this is part of the reason why I love making these videos. It's a way of making my ideas clearer to myself while I also pass on these ideas to you. Here's what I've done with the piece so far. Please feel free to leave comments and questions for me. Other than that, that's it for today. Enjoy the performance.